I want to be really clear that that's exactly what we're going to do. Americans who own AR-15s, AK-47s, will have to sell them to the government.
2020 Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke inciting backlash and criticism from those who see that kind of program as confiscation. They say it really can't go by any other name, including McCain, who pounced on the idea today. Watch this.
This is a ground level issue for me. If you're going to be a gun grabber, you don't get my vote, period. But, the AR-15 is by far the most popular gun in America, by far. So if you're talking about, again, I was just in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming. You're talking around going and taking people's guns away from them. There's going to be a lot of violence.
Beto is not backing down, saying McCain, quote, I just think that kind of language and rhetoric is not helpful. It becomes self-fulfilling. Of people on TV who are almost giving you permission to be violent, he says, and saying, you know this is going to happen. Here now, Sean Parnell, former U.S. Army Airborne Ranger and author of All Out War, which is out today. Sean, what do you say to Beto O'Rourke?
Well, first of all, I don't understand the philosophical underpinnings of his argument. I don't know how the government can buy back something that they never owned in the first place. Never mind the perverse logic that goes into it, and the idea that the Second Amendment was written to protect against this kind of government overreach. Precisely for this reason, I think that Meghan McCain is 100% right. I do think that if the government comes door to door and tries to take my property, not only will violence ensue, I think Americans are constitutionally bound and have a duty and obligation to react and fight back and protest.
What about the fact that Walmart is now saying that if you are a licensed gun owner, they are asking you not to carry when you come into a Walmart, which, the stores are all across the country. It's the biggest retailer in the United States.
I think that it was a stupid decision on their part. I think that obviously they're doing it to virtue signal. I mean, automobiles kill more people every year than guns, yet you don't see Walmart banning automobile parts. So I think we run into real problems when we get into the should you own this weapon or should you own a high capacity magazine? And my answer to that is maybe. Think about what happened just last year to Tucker Carlson when 100 rabid leftists showed up outside his home. The only people that were there were his wife and his small children. And I want her to have an AR-15 to be able to have 30 rounds to protect her family if she needs to. Or what if you live in a city like Portland when the liberal mayor, throws up his hands and lets Antifa run roughshod all over that city? You might need an AR-15 with 30 rounds to defend your family if 50 Antifa thugs show up at your house with your small children sleeping outside.
I mean, obviously, that there's a lot of people out there who disagree with you on this. This is a New York Times study that just came out. It says in the 15 years since the assault weapons ban, and I know people have, the definition of assault weapons ban is not clear in that, but they say 15 years since it ended, the trajectory of gun massacres has been sharply upward, largely tracking the growth in ownership of military-style weapons and high-capacity magazines. They're saying there is a correlation between the number of people who are killed with these weapons by these crazy nut jobs, and they're arguing that that's a reason for, regular civilians not to have these kinds of guns.
Well, first of all, I would say that the assault weapons ban of the mid-'90s had no discernible impact on violent crime in this country. The end. That's according to FBI
that's
statistics.
Arguable. I mean, when you look at the graphic, which we showed last night, the number of those kinds of killings were at a lower number overall during that 10-year period, and then they skyrocket after that, Sean.
Well, here's what I'll say to that. Why should my constitutionally mandated, why should my rights be curtailed because some madman, cowardly criminal commits a crime? They shouldn't be. I reject the notion that somehow society is guilty because a criminal commits a crime.
So
we should hold that person accountable.
Everyone says, there has to be some way to agree on this, because when you look at, you got 67% of Americans who favor banning assault weapons. 67%.
That's because
and what they don't want, a lot of people I think agree with, obviously, with the Second Amendment and the right to have a gun, but they feel like these high power, and I'm not a gun person, as you can probably tell, because I'm not that comfortable with identifying lines. But when you kill 9 people in 30 seconds in Dayton, these individuals did not have the ability to do this when these kinds of weapons were not able to get into their hands, or at least at a lower number. And they also show that when they had mass shootings during the gun ban, when there were these shootings, fewer people were killed during them.
I would say that there is simply no law out there that can, the bottom line is you cannot legislate evil out of the hearts of human beings.
Absolutely not.
And so if a human being wants to wreak carnage and has it set in their hearts that they're going to do it, they could wreak just as much havoc with a car. So I see no reason to curb the rights of law-abiding, millions of law-abiding gun owners because a crazy person commits a crime. And by the way, if someone is committing a crime with a gun, why then does the left immediately pivot to we should take all guns from law-abiding? If they came forward with a plan, if Robert Francis O'Rourke came out and said, you know what, after this mess, that's it, we're done. We are going to take illegal hands off the. We're going to take illegal guns out of the hands of criminals off the streets. The ground zero is Chicago, and we're going to start there. Me, as a constitutionally law-abiding, gun-owning American citizen, would get behind that in a second. But don't take them from me.
Sean, thank you very much. Sean Parnell, good to have you.